Okay, we're rolling, brother.
Alright, man.
Okay, so Mike, why don't you tell me
Yeah, go.
what's going on, man?
Yeah, just real quick, I'm a bodybuilder, and because I follow like the traditional bodybuilding diet, I'm sure you know what it is. Digestion wasn't feeling great, so over the years I just kind of started scaling back what I was doing, and then I came across a vegan bodybuilding book, and I figured I'd give it a shot. And that was working well, but I was hopped up on all kinds of, even though it was vegan, it was still proteins, and I was eating a lot of cooked foods and supplements and all that stuff, and I just always looked bloated, and never could get cut. I'm not a fat guy, but I got a little extra body fat that I, want to get rid of, and for whatever reason I couldn't. So out of pure frustration, I said, you know what, I'm getting off all supplements, I'm getting off all cooked food. Now I got a juicer, and I just started diving into it, not really knowing what I was doing. I mean, I watched your videos, and that's kind of how I was learning how to do it. But probably for the past month and a half, I've been really pulling with the juice. Now, I'm not 100% raw. I mean, I still have, I live in Buffalo, freezing cold right now. But in the mornings, I still do oatmeal. I don't cook it. And I just put some raisins and some bananas in there, and I use a rice milk. So I know it's technically not raw, but I try not to eat a lot of cooked foods. And it seems to be working. The reason for my call is because I've been eating. I don't think I could eat any cleaner than I do. I'm a fanatic about it, and I work out and I do my cardio and stuff, but I just cannot seem to get it tight. I just don't know if I'm not eating enough. I'm not sure what's going on. And in probably in the last week or two, I've been having terrible, not to be graphic, but rectal itching. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm eating too much of something and not enough of something else. So I just kind of wanted to pick your brain a little bit and see what you could recommend.
Okay, Mike, what's your height and weight?
I'm 5'11", and I was weighing in before I started all the juicing. I was weighing in at about 195 to 198, and now I fluctuate between about 187 and 190.
Okay, cool. And so
I've had my body fat taken. I mean, I don't put too much stock into that, but I've had it taken over the last couple of weeks, and it's done from 15 now I'm down to 14, but it's still high for me,
Yeah. So is that little chub? Has that been a problem the whole time?
Yeah, I mean, no matter what I do, it's like I got that little. So it almost looks like a layer of fluid all over my body. You know what I mean? But I'm doing like 1 to 2 huge pitcherfuls of greens a day, and I mean I use dandelion greens. I'm trying to use all that stuff to get the fluid out. And it very well could be that I'm still not drinking enough water too, because most days I shoot for a gallon, but some days I don't get it in because I'm busy at work,
And then, of course, how old are you now, Mike?
I just turned 35.
Okay. Was there a time when you were younger that you were able to cut up a little easier?
No, I mean, I really wasn't into bodybuilding when I was younger. I was an athlete, but I mean, I ate like crap. It was like McDonald's, Burger King, chicken wings, pizza.
So how long?
I would say to be honest with you, over the last 2.5 years, I've really been trying to detox. I've been getting into some more raw foods, trying to stay away from everything that's no process. I'm not going to lie, I'll still have a cooked meal every once in a while, like maybe some steamed rice and vegetables. But the majority of my diet during the day, I usually start with that oatmeal mix in the morning, and then I usually try to go into two big green drinks, and then usually right when I get done with my workout, I'm doing about 5 or 6 bananas, blueberries, and an assortment of berries, and I make a smoothie in the blender.
Okay. So you're what, like 80% raw?
I would say 80% is a pretty good number.
Yeah, you can get pretty good health, but you know, one of the things that may be going on right now is that within some of the glands and organs that would allow you to cut up a little bit more and really increase your testosterone levels, they may be clogged up with sediment from the days of the chicken and the burgers and whatnot. So one of the more challenging things is to actually really clean out your body from all the past, which very rarely does a human ever actually do that. That's what I'm in the middle of right now myself. It's very hard because you get skinny. Obviously, I'm turning into a toothpick. I don't even eat. I'm not hungry. But see, my body, that all the crap that I did in my past is getting better. I am flushing out my system at the deepest levels. My goal is actually to get back into bodybuilding, but I don't want to build up on a broken down foundation. And so, but you're almost as old as I am, so at our age, you know, to take 2 or 3 years to totally detox, which is what it takes. Best case scenario is about 2 years with fasting and a total raw food diet. But see, that might not go along with your priorities. But the problem is that a lot of people, they ask me how can they get cut or how can they get buffed up. But what we've got here are deeply embedded underlying issues that are really keeping you from getting truly healthy. So what you're doing is you're sort of trimming the branches of your problems and you're not getting to the root of the tree and removing that. So I mean, there are things you could do to increase your performance and tighten up for sure, even at this stage, but I want you to know that most human beings have pretty much lived their whole life on a diet that creates a lot of mucus, leaves a lot of sediment in the gallbladder, and leaves a lot of sediment in the kidneys, slowing down adrenal function. There's a lot of sediment in the lymph nodes, in the neck, slowing down thyroid. So what happens is, through the masters of old that would do the fruit and the fasting, they could cleanse out. It's a real spiritual path too, because not only do the glands affect the strength of your body and the tightness, your ability to be tight with really high quality muscle tissue, but it also is the same effect on your spiritual awakening as well, because the sediment that's floating around in this world, in the air, in the water, and the food, and the additives and preservatives, and the cosmetics, a lot of these things attach to receptor sites in various parts of the cell in the body. And then this just slows down the functionability of those cells that are either in the liver, they're in the kidney, they're on the adrenals, they're in the thyroid, the pancreas, and the thymus, all the different glands in the pituitary and pineal especially, which are your master regulator glands. So even from my perspective as a spiritual person, I've been trying to decalcify the pituitary and pineal glands, which with fluoride in the water and the soot in the air and the crappy food and the drugs of any type slows that down. But so for me as a spiritual person, that's what I'm working on. But also as an athlete, that's the same thing you're working on, because then you can take that power that's generated from the glands and you can use that power and that life force energy to create anything you want. For me personally, I'm hoping to ascend energetically, awaken my mind and to the truth. But see, Mike, if you were to do the same thing I'm doing now, which is basically just on a liquid diet, and then I'll be doing a water fast next month, you could cleanse out more of that sediment. So it sounds counterintuitive to a bodybuilder, but the thing is you're gonna have you can work harder, but the only way to work smarter is to go through the detoxification at the deepest levels. And let me ask you a question. You said you have a competition coming up?
Well, I was shooting for one in March, but I'm gonna postpone it because I want to get to a point where I feel confident in what's working for me, and I don't want to embarrass myself by going up there and not being ready. So I'm gonna. There's a ton of them. I mean, there's one in October of next year, and I'm not there yet. I will say a couple of things though. Since the last month of really committing to at least 2 to 3 juices a day, like some of the stuff you said I've experienced, like my mucus in my body is almost completely gone. I mean, I would wake up and my eyes would be like caked with mucus, and I'm seeing the improvement for sure. And my body's changing. I guess I'm just getting frustrated because I just, you know how it is. You want it quicker. I mean, I'm sleeping better. My nose is not stuffed anymore. I'm breathing better. The mucus is completely, I'm not going to say completely, but it's about 80% gone out of my body from where it used to be. Well, I'm seeing improvements. I'm stronger in the gym. And to be quite honest with you, all I'm really doing besides, the occasional, bowl of oatmeal or rice, I mean, it's a bunch of greens a couple times a day, and it's a fruit smoothie. And I was maybe concerned that I wasn't eating enough because my weight isn't really dropping a ton. So that was one concern I had. But the other point I want to touch on before I forget, I was doing, because I'm a trainer and I start super early in the morning, so sometimes I need to grab a little food right away. I was doing for a little while, I found the process, but I found some chia bars. They're called chia bars. And I was doing some lauder bars for a while, just the dates and the peanut. And I don't know if the salt and the peanuts and the fat is aggravating. This is the first time in a long time I've had any, rectal itching or uncomfort down there.
Dude, peanuts are like one of my least favorite foods on planet Earth. Peanuts, I ate a bag of Jungle Peanuts once, the fancy, raw, expensive ones. And I broke out with acne for like a month. And I was like, okay, I'm never doing that again, ever. I know it was those peanuts. And even those, the best quality peanuts, the legumes are a little bit hard. I'll point out to you, Mike, that the best food for human beings is whole fruits. This is where you're going to start to get cut up. I think intuitively I'm going to tell you to eat more fruit. Because you want to know, it is the sugars in the fruits that literally build the best muscle tissue. That's so counterintuitive, but you got to understand. Does a horse eat other animal proteins to get buff? No.
Oh, no, I get it. I mean, I'm 100% committed, and I know what you're talking about, and it's not that I don't want to. I was just nervous of maybe I'm eating too much food. You know what I mean? But I understand. I mean, I was actually following the 80-10-10 before I got into the juicing. I was trying to do, all fruit, all the time and all those carbs. But I think what got me in trouble is I was also eating a lot of cooked carbs as well. But I think, like as you say, I think that was kind of gumming me up a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, I was kind of talking to the video, Mike, when I was saying that about the protein myth, and pointing out that in our medical model, or the protein peddlers as I call them, they always say you need to eat animal bodies to get protein, but then no other animal that's way buffer than we are does that. I mean, a cow, go wrestle a cow who just eats nothing but grass, or go wrestle a gorilla who eats only, gorilla could bench press like 1,000 pounds, and it's like they only eat fruit and greens, And so with us humans, But see, with us, we're really kind of weak, and that's why I got back to the glands. The glands and the nervous system are going to be what you're going to want to focus on. So you really want to be more like a spiritual bodybuilder, awakening the inner power, and then learning how to harness that into creating the body that you want. And so the fruit is the food that vibrates the highest. And I will admit, though, that the fruit it allows you to have the energy and the cleanliness of the cell. And then the greens is where you pack on that really tight, compacted, lasting muscle, you know. So if you eat fruits and greens, like the oatmeal is a sediment creator, a mucus dissolver, a mucus creator, and it will definitely keep you, here's what it is. When you get to the highest levels of health and cellular vitality for pure blood and cellular total regeneration, one piece of bread makes you look pasty and white. You can be eating fruit for like 6 months and you'll have beautiful skin and beautiful eyes and the beautiful color of all the rainbows of the fruits and the greens. And then you eat one piece of bread, you'll notice, you're like, damn, I look a little pasty this morning, because the body does not recognize that. We are talking about the purest and the cleanest blood. And oatmeal, you know, it's not the worst food in the world. There's no doubt about that. There's no chemicals or anything, but it's still fairly hard on the kidneys. And it does leave a lot of mucus behind in the GI tract, you know. And so compare an orange or a banana or an apple to the consistency and the chemical nature of the oatmeal. And you'll find that if you really want to cut up and look good, you'd get rid of the oatmeal too. And you'd go with fruits and greens, and then you would really want to just up your reps. I'm sure you're doing that already.
Yep.
So what are your...
Did you say up your reps?
Yeah, up your reps. Repetitions.
Yeah, I'm doing that now. Yeah.
How long have you been upping your reps, your numbers?
As far as like sleeping, that you mean?
No, not rest. Repetitions in the gym when you're higher reps. Like, are you doing sets of 12 and 15?
You know, for the longest time, I've been staying in traditional, like 8 to 10, 15 repetitions, like traditional bodybuilding. And a friend of mine is he's a vegan. I don't know if you know, his name's Chad Byers. He's a big vegan bodybuilder. Anyways, he had told me to switch it up for a little while and to try just working out 3 days a week, but to go a little bit heavier, like 5 sets of 5. And I'm just doing, so basically Monday, Wednesday, Friday I train, I do like a total body lift. And then on Tuesday, Thursday I do like an interval cardio. And it seems to be working a lot better than what I was doing before. Because I don't know that I was actually challenging myself enough. But this type of workout that I'm doing now, it seems to really be, I'm feeling some changes and I'm seeing some changes.
Yeah, so in other words, you stayed with the 8 to 10 reps for God knows how many years?
Yep.
And now you're switching it up a bit. So that's the thing about the body. I did this for years. I'd go in and I would do sets of 20 1 week, and the week after that I'd go and do sets of 3 ultra heavy. I would knock my body around so much. I love being a bodybuilder. In fact, I want to get back into it, but I got to finish up this this detoxification regeneration of my brain and nervous system, which took quite a bit of a hit from the recreational times in my younger in my 20s. But I love bodybuilding, man, and what I did was just I would always shock my body and switch it back and forth. So right now, your friend, he's got suggesting you on those lower reps where you're going to build some more of those larger muscles.
Fast twitch, and it's a little bit more of a, it stimulates your nervous system a little bit more. But I'm on page with you. Like I'm very holistic when I train my clients, when I train my stuff. I very rarely do the same thing twice. I like to keep it fresh. So I'm giving it a couple weeks, and then I'm going to go back to, I'll change it up again. So I don't have a problem with the training aspect. It's just more, I've always struggled with, am I eating enough or am I eating too little, that type of thing. But if there's something I would like to point out, in the last couple of days I haven't been eating that much fruit, and I've only been eating a lot more greens, but my digestion has just kind of been funky all week, man. Like, just really backed up. I haven't had a good bowel movement in a couple of days. I mean, I'm going, but they're nowhere near like they were when I first started juicing.
How many meals are you eating a day?
I'm doing between 3 and 4.
Okay, that's pretty good. Spaced out pretty well. What's your appetite like when you go to eat?
What's that?
What's your appetite like when you go to eat?
It differs. Like today, I'm honestly not that hungry today. But some days I'm just salivating when I turn the juicer on. I mean, I just can't wait to get, I put apples in there, pineapple, kale, collard greens, the whole rainbow, and I can't wait to get it. And it's the same when I make my banana smoothies. Like, I just can't wait to drink it.
Okay, cool. So how was it when you were on the 80-10-10?
You know what, man? I felt really like I kind of felt drunk. Like I would do like a 10 banana smoothie with like organic like grape juice, because sometimes I couldn't get the grapes. But I don't know. I was eating a lot of dates, a lot of bananas, and I just felt really, really drunk. And I think I wasn't getting enough greens in there to balance it.
Yeah.
And it's only since I brought the greens back into the diet and cut out a lot of the cooked starches that I'm able to function fine. Like, I feel pretty balanced and pretty level most days.
Yeah, okay, good. I mean, I can live off fruit myself. I'm so clean though. But I still do use a lot of greens. In fact, I think the best diet for a human being really trying to get healthy, to oversimplify things, is like 50% fruit, 50% vegetables. Like a pile of green vegetables and a pile of fruit, about the same size, Not talking calorically, I'm just talking about volume-wise. But remember, though, that the greens are a little harder to digest. And what you might have been having, Mike, was sometimes, I could never do 80-10-10 like that and stuff. I can never force myself to eat a certain number of calories. I just eat until I'm hungry. I don't use my brain to tell me. I don't do mathematical equations. I just listen to my guts. But that's because of being a spiritual person. You develop an intuition, and some days.
I got that. I got that because for years I followed, like I had this many grams of protein, carbs, and quite honestly, that's just so much mental work that I had to let it go, and that's why I said I'm gonna get into juicing and just eat natural, and I don't think I can go wrong if I'm just juicing and eating fruits and vegetables. And it's been so liberating to let go of, how many grams of protein do I gotta get in post-workout and all this, garbage, really.
No, what you do, it's so simple. You eat the best food, and then you just work out hard, You eat clean, and then your body will adjust itself. But it's really, when it comes down to really getting cut and really looking good and really having high cell quality, it's all about the diet. The workouts and stuff are maybe 10%, but it's all about the diet and the quality of the food, the digestibility of the food, the amount of metabolic debris that the body has to process when you eat that food. That'll make you need to sleep more and slow down your workouts. So I think that 100% raw food is the best way to go, because every biological creature on this planet has been a raw foodist since the beginning of time. And now there's the humans who are like, we're so smart, we can cook everything. And I'm like, is that really that smart? They think they're advancing, but the human beings have no idea how degenerated they are from the pristine state that they could live in as spiritual beings on this rock spinning through space. They could be so much more illuminated. The children could be so much healthier and stronger. People could live so much longer with so much more peace and health and happiness, and disease could completely take a back seat. But we don't live right, and we think that 80 years old is a long life, when it's actually an insult to nature, really, according to the divine structure that we have as human beings. Now, I'm no angel either, because I came into this planet, my parents were doing what they were doing, and I was already, disabled by the time I was born, and now, I mean, I'm just me stuck in this body that I was given, and I can only do so much. We can only do so much, but we can do a lot with the raw foods. Fasting is a huge step up as far as regeneration. Where you're at right now, Mike, you just want to eat clean and lift hard and rest a lot, and eliminate all stress. And then you got to learn to use your mind as your most powerful mechanism. And then you also, here's the trick of the whole book, because there's no one right answer for all of us, but one thing we can all do to learn to improve the quality of our lives and go in the direction we want is to have a running conversation with our deepest self. And we need to ask ourselves, like Mike, you would ask yourself in this moment, what do I need to eat to achieve my goals? And then you just learn to listen. My intuition over the years has gotten incredibly stronger, and it'll just tell you, you need greens, you need to not eat today, or you need orange juice, or you need a massage, or you need to take a bath, you need to go out in the sun, you need to go for a walk. Get that relationship going.
That's a good point, because I was doing intermittent fasting for a while, where I wouldn't eat till noon every day, and then I wouldn't eat again until 4 and until 8. And the whole goal was to try to fit all your calories into those 3 meals, and it was driving me crazy. I'd wake up some mornings hungry, and I wasn't eating until noon. But intuitively, I just knew that wasn't, it worked for the guy that told me about it. I don't know what else he's doing, but it's working for him. But it doesn't work for me. And I had, and that's where I'm at now. It's like, that's great that it's working for you, but it's not working for me. So I had to change it up.
Okay. That's just it. I mean, everybody's an individual, and they need to look at their goals, what they're trying to achieve in this life, what they want to create, and then they need to talk to themselves and ask their own self. Because if you develop that intuition and that relationship with yourself, it'll guide you. Because your goals, Mike, your goals are different than mine. We can't just say, oh, here's one program that fits all. There is no objective health information. That's one of the biggest lies being told on the internet, because all objective health information comes by way of subjective conclusion. Everything is subjective, so you have to have your own personal relationship. You cannot look to somebody else to give you the answers. They can guide you, direct you, but you have to develop your deepest self. Is the light of consciousness, and it has every single answer. And the more clear that you get from the diet, and the more that you develop this relationship with yourself, that voice, it becomes clearer and clearer and clearer. And when you don't listen to that voice, you will get sick, you will get an illness, you will get a disease, because it's trying to talk to you and tell you, hey, slow down, quit being so guilty. Let go of the fact that your uncle molested you or something, and it's just burning a hole inside of you. And it wants to tell you, here's what you get rid of, here's what you seek out, So that's going to help you a lot, Mike, right there. And it's a day-to-day, moment-to-moment thing. We don't get a break. We're consciously aware and awake 24/7. And when we do that, that's when we become spiritual masters. When we're fully awake all the time, no matter what's going on. Because some of us are like, oh, this is unpleasant, or I have pain in my back, I'm going to go take a drug and go entertain myself and escape, which is okay, but we want to be more present, in within whatever's going on. We want to stay present, even if it's unpleasant, so that we can keep that relationship with that inner voice talking to us, so that we can meet our goals, whether they're bodybuilding goals, spiritual goals, financial goals. Okay.
Right.
So what is? Go ahead, Mike.
I got one more quick question before I forget. What's your take on fat? I mean, obviously, like, I'm not talking bad fats, but like, should I try to keep the fat in my diet, lower, or should I? I mean, where do you stand on that?
If you want to cut up, you would take out most of the fat and eat tons of fruit and tons of leafy greens. The fat, of course, is for cellular integrity, and it helps the hair stay strong. But the thing is in nature, wild animals and in human beings even would have went months and months without any type of overt fats, and they were just fine. Mostly what you need, here's the importance of diet when it comes to true cellular human health, and that is that you need, first and foremost, you need sugars. That's your number one source of calories. They got it all backwards. They're trying to get you to eat so much protein, and everybody's so sick because the fermenting and rotting and purifying, not purifying.
I've experienced that with chicken. I mean, nobody wanted to be around me when I used to eat all the chicken because it was terrible. I know what you're talking about.
You smell bad, yeah. Meat oozes out. And meat just turns into pus, and it leaves, and then the viruses and bacteria can proliferate, and then they poop in you because they're trying to gobble up all that excess, undigestible waste matter, and then they poop inside of you, and their poop is what oozes out your armpits and comes out your farts and oozes out your pheromones up in your hair, and you just don't smell right. So.
It was bad. I know exactly what you're talking about there.
Human beings are really frugivorous species. So number one is the fruit and vegetable sugars. That's what you need because you need cellular energy, ATP, in order to do anything, to think, to breathe, to move, all of that. And then fruits and vegetable sugars are the best. Number two is the essential fatty acids. But you can go for quite some time before there's any fatty acid deficiencies without any problem. In fact, I haven't eaten any fat this month except when I was with my girls. I ate a couple of avocados. But other than that, I've been on a total liquid diet detox since the beginning of the year. And so it's the sugars, then the essential fatty acids. And like 80-10-10, it doesn't need to be for anybody any more than 10% of the volume of the diet. Okay. And in your case, if you really want to cut up, you could even cut it down to 5 or 3%. You could have like fat like a couple times a week, an avocado and once a week, and 4 tablespoons of hemp seeds another time during the week, and that is going to be plenty of fat to make sure that you don't have any deficiencies while you're cutting up the muscles and really trying to bring out those bellies and get rid of that, because any type of fat leaves some residues. It's not like oranges that are really clean and leave no residues, or a watermelon, but the avocados and any kind of fat leaves residues and is more challenging to break down and emulsify and turn that fat into a water-soluble, absorbable material. And after you have essential fatty acids, and then you need to think about amino acids. But the thing is if you're eating enough food, you're getting enough amino acids. Now, athletes and bodybuilders, in a case like yours, Mike, maybe it needs a little bit more. But what would you do? Up the greens. That's all you would do.
Right.
And almonds are a great source of strength. And hemp seeds is one of the best, because what you're getting there is you're getting the aminos and the essential fatty acids. And after that, really, I mean, just look at the animals. Look at a horse. Look at a cow. You are not going to wrestle with them. They are building up beautiful, powerful muscle with oxygen and leafy greens. You know, and so really, that's what we need to do as well. You know, to be really, really buff, tight, clean, healthy. You want to radiate health and be buff at the same time. You know.
Yeah, I get you.
So, what else? What else is there, Mike?
I think that's pretty much it. It's kind of stuff. What you said is kind of stuff that I just needed to get like reaffirmed. I've been on a little bit of a journey myself here, so I'm learning. You know, each year I'm learning more and more. And without a doubt, the natural as possible is the way to go. You know, but I just wanted to talk to you, and I mean, you're the guy, so I wanted to get your take on it and just kind of share with you what I'm doing and just get some pointers. But it sounds like from the take home is I may have to up my fruit a little bit more. I think right now I'm actually doing more greens than I am fruit. In the last couple weeks, that's when I started to experience like I'm kind of gassy now, and my digestion's a little bit backed up, so I might not have enough fruit in my diet.
Are you eating the greens?
No, I'm the only greens I'm eating is like one. Maybe for lunch I might take like a collard green leaf, and I might put some. I put sprouts on there, and I do use a little bit of hummus. So I don't know if that's affecting me or not, but
That's definitely a gas maker. Any of those beans are gas makers. Very hard to digest.
okay.
I mean, sprouted beans are another level up, but the cooked ones, they're very dormant, and you will get gas. You'll also get gas if you mix too many fruits with your green juices. I, over the years, of course, have become a master at knowing what to mix and what not to mix. So that's just one of those things where it would be like a whole nother 2-hour video to explain what works and what doesn't. But the basic rule is that the more simple you go, the better off you are. Like, let's say you take apple, celery, spinach. Instead of like 8 or 12 different things in one juice, apple, celery, spinach. That's going to digest easily. There won't be too many gases. But if you mix like apple, pineapple, collard greens, celery, orange, carrot, you're starting to get some weird combinations of digestibility of different foods, and that's going to cause some issues with digestion as well. Plus, it's good to remember that the easily digestible greens are the more tender leafy greens. The collard greens I would much rather see you juice, and it's better sometimes to use like romaine lettuce, because you got to remember the herbivores have 4 stomachs. And as a human being, that's why I say eat your fruit whole and drink your greens. If everyone did that, it would be on a much higher level. Now, one of the reasons why I say that is, number one, because we don't have 4 stomachs. The fruit is our number 1 food. Easily digestible mono meals of fruit, meaning 1 to 3 different types of fruit in a meal. And then you juice your greens, and that way you get all the aminos, and you get all the chlorophyll and all the antioxidants from the herbs, but you break it down in the juicer. So basically you're using the juicer as your teeth, because none of us have the 2 hours that it takes to eat a salad. Now, every once in a while at night, I'll get to sit down and take an hour or an hour and a half or sometimes 2 hours for a huge green, no-fat bowl of mixed greens. But if we took that and put that through the juicer, that helps to assuage a lot of the digestion, which gets energy, metabolic energy gets used in breaking down and absorbing the greens. So that's why like the rudiments, they have the 4 stomachs to break it down, break it down, break it down. We don't really have that, so we don't absorb greens as well. But when we juice them, we do much better. So try to simplify your meals, Mike.
Yeah, that could be where the digestion's coming in, because I've been putting a lot of stuff in the juices. Like I typically use apples, but the other day I made one that had apples, pineapple, carrots, collard greens, and kale. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in there.
Yeah, all those have different rates of digestion. But so when you make like I said, like apple, celery, spinach, the variations within those foods are much closer to each other, and that's a nice mixture. But it's like when you start adding the collard greens and the carrots and the pineapple, you're really creating a lot. The pineapple's way down here with digestibility, then you got the carrot in the middle, and then you got the collard greens on the other end, and it's just a real rough combination. You're going to get some gas and bloating that way. That's why as you progress, as I've progressed these years, I'm more and more closer to mono type meals, like just 4 or 5 bananas, boom, there's breakfast, or just 64 ounces of orange juice, done. 4 or 5 apples with raisins, done. I mean, just it's like that. Now that's with the numbers and the calories and all that. It's hard to fit that in, but it's if you want to get cleaner. My personal opinion at this time, I've been a bodybuilder, and I will never ever sacrifice health for looking bigger. Now, some of these other guys, yeah, they are taking every kind of thing under the sun. Every kind of drug.
I'm on the same page as you, man. That's why I'm not competing, because I want to be healthy, and I don't want it to be a 6-week crash diet that I have to eat to get abs. I mean, I want to have them year round. And I'm willing to put the sacrifice and the time in to figure out what that formula is.
It's going to be cleaner. You take out those grains, and you're going to see some improvements. I guarantee you. Those grains are going to keep you kind of pasty and puffy.
Okay.
It's just slimy. Oatmeal is slimy. A lot of people, it's better than some foods, but if you took a blob of that oatmeal, I mean, all you got to do is look at the pan when you're done, okay?
Yeah.
Put oranges and grapes in a pan, and then leave that there for 24 hours, then cook up some oatmeal, and then leave that in there for 24 hours, and what do? You got to scrub like hell to get out that starchy sediment off that pan with hot water and soap and a scrubber. And then when you dump out the oranges and the grapes, you rinse the pan with water, done. That's the clean, that's the test. I don't need to use soap when I eat. If I need to use soap, I'm eating wrong. See what I'm saying?
That's a good way to look at it.
Your food should be water soluble, cleanliness. If your salad dressing the next day is sticking to your plate, it's sticking to your body. If your food is sticking to your plate, then it is sticking to your body. And if you eat a nice high water soluble sprouts and greens and fruits and herbs, it should rinse right off that plate. Then you'll know you're eating clean. That's a great test. And then you'll know that your cells are able to absorb the nutrition, the antioxidants, the amino acids, and then they're able to, energize the cells and get what it needs to build nice, tight, healthy cells. All the energy is coming from the nucleus. You're basically, your job in this world as a human being is to feed the nucleus of your cells. Now, what's going to do that better? Meat? No, meat is a stimulant. That's why, yes, it's important for some bodybuilders, because that stimulates the brain. It stimulates that animal nature to go in there and work out and to build your territory, and it pumps up your adrenals and it keeps you jacked up, and it accelerates the process of hormones being released. So people they age a lot faster on meat because it's a metabolic stimulant.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm right on the same page with you.
How long have you been a vegan, Mike?
I would say pretty steadily for almost a year now.
Okay, cool. The thing about being a vegan is you don't want to be a Cheetos and Pepsi vegan. In other words, you don't want to be one of these vegans that eats all their great cooked grains, because then they're bent over and white and pasty, and I'm a vegan. You don't want that. You don't want to be a pasty, Cheeto, Pepsi, cooked grain vegan. You want to be a raw, living, colorful, rainbow, vibrational, illuminated, vibrating health with green, fresh, raw food. I mean, raw food. I still cannot believe humans. They're wondering why are we so sick and fat and degenerated, and it's so simple. It's because
It's very simple.
you're cooking the life and the vitality out of your foods, and then how are you going to feed the nucleus and the mitochondria in your cells? You're taking the orange and you're squeezing the orange juice, and then you're cooking it. And everything that would have fed the mitochondria and the nucleus in that cell is dead. And so, yeah, your body absorbs some of the sugars from the orange juice, but you're not getting that fire of life. The raw fruits and vegetables have an invisible fire of life. And when you heat it up, you alter the chemistry, and you take that away, and you take that away from your cells, and then you begin the process of degeneration, and everyone makes it to about 30, and then they start going downhill when you could easily be 60, 70, 80 years old out there having a good time doing whatever the heck you want.
Well, that's what I'm going to get to, man.
Well, right on. So did we answer some of your questions today, Mike?
Yeah, you answered all of them. You kind of reset my compass a little bit, and that's what I needed. So.
Well, it was my pleasure. It was fun revisiting some of the old bodybuilding stuff, because like I told you at the beginning, most people are here for weight loss and that type of thing. There's a small group of people that are going to benefit from this. I don't know. I talked about making this a how to gain weight video. What would you call this video, Mike?
I don't know what the title would be, but I can only tell you from my experience that I've actually gotten more muscular and stronger eating the way that you're talking about. So I don't know what title you want to put that on, but I would maybe say I've gained muscle. I would say gain muscle on a raw diet, because that's what's happening to me.
Okay, yeah, because you want to know why? Because it's cellular respiration. You might, like a lot of the guys, they have more mucus, so they look bigger, but it's not really high quality muscle fibers. It's actually just pasty white.
Fluid. It's more fluid. Yeah, and I see that. I mean, I'm in the gym all day, and I see it all the time. I'm starting to etch out hard muscle, real muscle that's not fluid. So I would say I definitely put some size on a raw diet.
Yeah, and you can definitely keep going if you keep mixing up those workouts and you eat cleaner, and your energy, the fruit and vegetable diet will give you more energy to work out, and you just keep getting that sleep and getting your massages. Man, you can go far with this thing and have a great time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would like to, I know you're busy guy, but I'm going to stay in touch with you and let you know how it's progressing.
Oh, I absolutely would love that. I like to hear people, progress, because most people progress when they take on at least some of the advice that I've given. It's always another step up, So it has been a real pleasure, Mike, to talk with you today.
Yeah, thank you so much for fitting me in, man.
No problem. Okay. Well, thanks, Mike. Just let me know via email in a month or two how it's going, and we'll do a follow up or whatever.
All right, sounds good. Have a good day, man.
Peace.
Bye.
Okay. Well, thank you for watching this video in its entirety. That was a lot of fun. I hope you learned something from it. Just a few little things here and there to share with you. I like to plug my DVDs because that's where you can get those recipes that you need that are simplified. I've been doing the juicing for, I don't even know, about 16, 17 years, juicing every day. So I've got all these recipes that are clean and designed in a way to be easily digestible. A lot of people, they put too much into one juice, and those foods have different rates of digestion, and that's where you get the gas and bloating, and then people are like, this juicing thing doesn't work. But the more simple that you make your foods, the better you'll digest. So eat larger volumes of less types of food, and you'll watch your digestion improve, and your bowel function improve, and you'll watch that cell respiration improve, and you'll be able to build as much quality muscle tissue as you want, or enhance your cardiovascular. You'll also start to dump the weight if you've got excess weight. If you really want to be tight and you really want to be toned, and you really want to be healthy, you'll learn that eating a 100% all raw fruit and vegetable diet will be one of the best things you've ever done. You may go through a period of detox where you don't look so good. You may go through a period of detox where you don't feel so good. But if you stick with it and you go through those cleansing reactions, it's a day, maybe 3 days, sometimes at the most, but you'll get to it on the other side and you'll be much healthier because the kidneys will flush, that debris will flush, and then you'll be at a higher level, and you just keep going, and you just keep going. So if you hit the wall and you start having some kind of detoxification, just keep moving forward. Make sure if you're an athlete like Mike, that you're eating enough food for sure. Also remember, oxygen is the key to health. Sleep is the key to health, and eating clean. Moderate amounts of clean food. And then really what it is once the endocrine glands are clean, that it's going to enhance your spiritual connection. It's going to enhance the functionability of the hormones and neurotransmitters in your body. You're going to feel better. You're going to look better. You're going to have more energy. You're going to have more sexual energy and vitality. And you're just going to have more of the function of those endocrine glands and nervous system. That's what you want to focus on no matter who you are or what you're doing. If you want to lose weight, you want to focus on your brain and nervous system and your endocrine gland system, because everything follows that one line. In the spiritual tradition, it's the 7 wheels. They're called chakras or whatever. Now this is too deep for some people, but if you can get those wheels spinning by cleansing out the old debris, whether that's food debris, emotional debris, mental debris, and resistance to life, but allowing life to flow through you, you'll strengthen those energy centers, you'll strengthen those glands, and all areas and all aspects of your entire life will improve, and you'll have more energy and more self-power, and then you can use that self-power, that creative life force within you, to create anything you want. More money, more muscle, more energy, more vitality, more creativity, more spirituality, more patience, more understanding, more compassion, and you will be able to make this world a better place to be. And that is how the raw food really helps every human being that I've ever known. Now, of course, there's some bumps and bruises along the way. There's no doubt about that. And there's some things that, oh, I'm doing this wrong. You know, I'm eating too many nuts. And then you just get it. And then you change up. So keep seeking more information. Keep working this stuff out. But like I said in the video, listen to yourself. Talk to yourself. Ask yourself. Ask and ye shall receive. Ask the question and wait for the answer. It'll come in the form of a book. It'll come in the form of revelation. It'll come in the form of a video. It'll come in the form of a friend. Somehow it'll come to you, the answer, because that's how infinitely powerful you are as a being. You're a magnet to attract the truth into your life if you are open and receptive to that. Thank you for watching this video, and subscribe to these videos if you haven't already. And I look forward to just many more videos and anything I can do to help with the experience that I've got. So that was great. I want to thank you, Mike, for taking the time to make a video with me and whatnot. So y'all take care now, you hear? Peace.